Hello there, fifth graders. So today we are going to continue talking about fractions. Today we're going to start subtracting fractions. So this week we looked at making equivalent fractions. We used those skills to add fractions whose sum is going to be less than 1. And then we use those skills again to add fractions where our sum is going to be greater than 1. And today we're going to use those skills to subtract fractions. So let's take a look here. We have 1/3 minus 1/4. So we're going to start by making our models. So we're going to model 1/3. So I've got 1/3 here. And then I'm going to model 1/4. And just like before, I'm going to have to make sure that my two numbers have a common denominator. Right now I can't subtract 1/3 from 1/4. I can't do that yet. My denominators have to be the same. So just like before, we can multiply 3 times 4 to get a common denominator. We can look at 3 and 4 and try to come up with a common multiple, or we can overlay our our segments, just like we've been doing. So I'm going to show you that. So we're going to take our thirds and we're going to divide them into fourths. And that gives us 12 pieces. We can verify that that's correct because we know that 3 times 4 gives us 12. And we're going to do the same with our fourths and divide it into thirds. Again, we have twelfths. So this is where we're going to start to see some differences between what we're doing today and what we were doing before. So before we get to that, let's write out our equivalent fractions. So 1/3 is equivalent to 4/12. And remember, we're subtracting this time. And 1/4 is equivalent to 3/12. So what we're going to do here, there's kind of two different ways that we can do this. We can just subtract our numbers straight across. We can subtract 4/12 from 3/12, and we get 1/12. Or we can use our models. So before, we took all of our shaded pieces and added those together. Today we're going to cross out. So this is kind of similar to what we did yesterday when we were making our mixed numbers, turning our improper fractions into mixed numbers, and we did the shade and cross out. Today we're just going to be doing the cross out. We're not going to do the extra shading part. So I'm going to work specifically in my 4/12 box. So I'm going to look at my 3/12 or my 1/4 box, and I have 1, 2, 3/12. So that means that I'm going to cross out 1, 2, 3/12 from my other box. And I end up with just the one left over, just 1/12 left over. And that confirms that my answer is 1/12. Let's take a look at B. So in B, we have 2/3 minus 1/2. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to model out our fractions. So go ahead and draw those out. So we've got 2/3 and we've got 1/2. I'm going to change my color again. So I've got 2/3. And I've got 1/2. And again, I need to find my common denominator. So I know that if I multiply 2 times 3, I get 6. So that means that I'm going to be working in sixths. So in order to get sixths, I'm going to divide my thirds in half and my half into thirds. So now I have 4/6 and 3/6. So I can use numbers or I can use my model. I'm going to use the model. So I have 1, 2, 3/6. So So I'm going to cross out 3/6 from my other side. 1, 2, 3. I'm left over with 1/6. So I had 4/6 minus 3/6 is equal to 1/6. And I confirmed that with my model. Let's take a look at C. I want you to go ahead and pause here, and I want you to try to work this one out on your own. If you get stuck, pop back in and see what to do next, or pop back in when you're done to check your answer. All right, let's take a look. So we have 5/6 minus 1/4. So I'm going to start by modeling out my 5/6 and my 1/4. So my 6ths, I'm going to divide it in half and then divide my halves into thirds. And that gives me my 6. And then my 4ths, I'll divide in half and then divide my halves in half. And that gives me my 4ths. So I'm going to shade. I have 5/6. So I'll shade in my 5 pieces. And then 1/4. So now I need to make my common denominators. I can multiply 6 times 4, which I know is 24. So I know that my common denominator is going to be 24. In order to turn my models into 24ths, I'm going to segment or cut my 6 into 4ths. So I'll draw a line down the middle, and then down the middle of each of those. And then I'll turn my 4ths into 24ths. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 24ths. And we're subtracting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 24ths. So I can subtract with my numbers or I can cross out. I'm going to go ahead and cross out. So I'm taking 6 of my 24ths away from my bigger piece, my model that has more pieces in it. So I have 6 to take away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now left over, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 14 24ths. So what I want to do here is I want to try to simplify. So I noticed that both of my numbers, 14 and 24, are even numbers. That tells me that they're both divisible by 2. So what I can do is divide 14 by 2 and 24 by 2. So I get 7 12ths. Those are equivalent fractions, 14 24ths and 7 12ths. So if you get to a number that is even or looks like both numbers are divisible by the same number, then I want you to challenge yourself to create the smallest possible equivalent fraction, or simplify or reduce your fraction. Once again, I want you to stop here and work on D on your own. Then you can tune back in if you get stuck or to check your answer. All right, let's take a look here. So we have 2/3 minus 1/7. So we'll model our thirds, and then we'll model our sevenths. I'm going to change my color again. I like to change the colors around. So I'm going to show 2/3. I'm going to shade in 2 of my third segments. And then I'm going to shade in 1 of my sevenths. Oops, actually, I need to fix this really quick. I wonder if I can flip this. I don't know if I can or not. Nope, I can't flip it. So I'm going to redraw this really quick. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I did it the wrong way. See, that happens sometimes. We all make mistakes. All right, so I should have gone this way. Alrighty, so I'm going to shade that in again, 1/7. And then I need to create my common denominators. So I'm going to take my sevenths and divide them into thirds, and my thirds and divide them into sevenths. And then my thirds I'll divide into sevenths. So I'm going to divide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And that's going to give me my 7 pieces. So I just created my common denominators. So that means that I have, if I look at 3 times 7, I'm looking in 21sts, or our fraction is over 21. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 over 21. And then I have 3. Oops, not over 12. Sorry about that. Over 21. So I'm going to cross my numbers out. So I have 1, 2, 3 to cross out. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 21sts, or 11 over 21 left over. Alrighty, let's take a look really quick at your independent practice. You only have 2 questions. You have 1/2 minus 1/7 and 3/5 minus 1/2. I want you to challenge yourself and try to simplify your answer if you need to. If simplifying your answer is a little tricky right now, don't worry about it. We can talk more about it another time. Alrighty, let me give you your secret word of the day really quick. So our secret word today is scarf. Let's make sure you have that word scarf written down somewhere on your paper. If you have any questions, please make sure that you let Miss Sally know, and she is happy to help. If it's a big emergency, she'll give me a call or a text and see if I can help out as well. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day and a great weekend. Adios, everybody.